Hi everyone, I failed. My goal for getting the boat in the water before Christmas 2020 was not happening. It didn't happen. I'm sorry. I know. Just get it done. Trust me. I want it done more than anyone. I'm working on these bits here. It's going to have like a small step just here, and that'll help you stand up here and then get onto this ledge. So anyway, I thought that I'd be able to get the floor in way faster, but I figured it would be a lot easier to get these drawers in and mounted before I put the floor on. So I was really disheartened. It took me a lot of beer to find out, or to get the motivation to get anything done. So everything was really slow going, and then it was over Christmas. My parents arrived, which I was hoping to meet them in the Bertram with my boat, but that didn't work out. And yeah, it just led to me working really slow and not being motivated to do this. Cry baby. When I'm feeling like this, I tend to magugga things up more. I tried my hardest to get the slider drawer areas as square as possible, but I ended up somehow getting everything out by about 5 mil, which is no good for slider drawers. So I used lots of time, bog and fiberglass to get everything symmetrical enough for it to work. This is me folding the aluminium drawers. I stupidly went with 4mm alley, which is way overkill, and my guillotine and brake press were working at their very maximum potential. Here I'm prepping everything for fiberglass. Got to make sure everything's good for the fiberglass to bond to. Yay. I love grinding, it's my favourite. I wish I could have a robot I could boss around to do all this dirty work. Anyway, here I'm fiberglassing the panels, the faces where the drawers will go into, and the doors and whatnot. I used epoxy resin for all of this. I'm checking everything's square. Square-ish. Hee. This is me just bogging, getting everything square. At first I thought I could use gel coat or flow coat inside the pockets, but I was dreaming. It sucked, so I grinded it out. And this is me welding the drawers. After I welded it all up, I had to grind it. I didn't video that. It was fiddly as hell getting the slider drawers to work, but you can see having access from the top makes it a lot easier. If I had put the floor on first, it would have been a lot of guesswork, but the end result is really good. They're not very deep, they're only 200 deep, and like I had to cut the sliders down because it's like 200 on the dot, and the sliders are slightly over that. Everything from eBay. This is where I am straightening up the battery box. This is the fastest way I could think of. Finally getting into painting. I thought this was a massive milestone. Actually didn't video the first spray job that I did. Later you'll see I did it all funny colours the first load, so I could see how deep I was sanding. that air mask is terrible. It's the batteries must not be that good anymore, and the fan's not that good, and the hose drives me insane. The belt thing, you can see it's like dangling off, and it constantly pulls down on my head. It was really uncomfortable. So anyway, this is me grinding sanding the primer. That's a second coat of primer that I'm sanding there. Now I've gone backwards, stuffed up, and my computer is running real slow at the moment. But yeah, you can see how annoying that this mask is. I thought it was going to be really good, but it's not. It's those that other one that I always wear is way better, and I end up modifying one of my air masks so it is jerry-rigged into the air conditioner, no jumping castle motor anymore, and yeah, it's good. I'm rambling, aren't I? These spots I'm just painting here, they're I ended up filling those holes back up at the back of the thing, just on that side. I'm going to put bungs in there that I can let go so the kill tank can drain out. I just wanted to show you how much of a pain in the butt this was to spray inside these little cupboards. It's still faster than gel coat, more expensive though. It should last longer and it won't crack. And because I've been using epoxy here and vinyl ester there and polyester somewhere else, that's why I'm leaning more towards epoxy on everything underneath the floor, and then on top of the floor I'll use vinyl ester resin or even polyester resin in some areas. This is finished sanding. I'm using, I think I went 180 grit and 240 grit, which is plenty for underneath the floor. No one's going to care, and I'll have to redo it after I do the bulkheads. I didn't tape where the bulkheads are going because it would just be a waste of tape and time, because I would have got the paint over the tape anyway, and I love grinding, so I just grinded, and that air mask is way better. So this is me grinding the patches of top coat away from where the bulkheads are going to be glued to the floor. This is a moment I've been waiting for a long time. I'm just working on the back section of the floor, so I'll glue the back section of the floor in first before all the rest. It's just too much epoxy to do in one time for one person especially. After I mask everything up, I acetone everything, and then I throw mega loads of glue with aerosol and glue powder, and work as fast as I possibly can. And I use those big metal C-channels with batten screws to hold the floor symmetrical and parallel, so the section of the floor that I'm sitting in at the moment, where the fuel tanks will be flush with the rest of the floor. So this was the most important section of the floor to get done right, because I had to get it nice for the middle bit where the fuel tank is, and then everything from now on is going to have the C channel running lengthways with the stringers when I do the next section, which will be the section in front of the section I'm working on at the moment. I'll do that, and then I'll do the V-berth last. But it was a very, very big day to get this done. I started early and I finished very late, and it was worth it. It is as hard as a rock. It's a very strong floor, and probably shouldn't have made it out of the core light, but I already ordered it, so I had to run with it. This is me fiberglassing while the glue is still tacky. I'm fiberglassing the bulkheads to the floor, like I said, and then I fiberglass the bottom of the floor to the sides of the stringer. And man, my body was aching after this, being in weird positions. I had glue in my hair. I have glue all up my arms, or epoxy. I've got no hair left because it's all ripped out now, because by the time you finish doing all this, the glue hardens on your hair of your arm. Anyway, that orange funnel looking thing that I'm using is just like a plastic bag thing that you can buy, which I would have done ages ago. I wasted money on this caulking gun that you could squeeze into, but this plastic bag, I've found that you can just use any plastic bag and just cut a hole in it, and you throw the epoxy glue into it, and you can squirt the glue into the corners really easily, and it makes it a lot neater. And anyway, after I fiberglass everything, I use peel ply, so it gives it a good texture, because I won't be able to sand in there very easily, and it'll be nice enough, but like I will do some hand sanding, and with whatever I can reach with the orbital, just to smooth off the daggy bits of glass, and everything will be nice and smooth. But I've got a smaller spray gun now that should be able to get into the awkward positions a lot easier. By this time I was able to take the C channel out, because the glue had hardened enough, and it allowed easier access into all these pockets. I slept very well after this. Anyway, I've got